Howdy, partners. Bet you weren't expecting this. Me talking for once. Yeah. This game is Kingdom 2 Crowns. There are 2 other Kingdom games. However, the original Kingdom that I know of is not on consoles. Kingdom 2 Crowns and New Lands, I believe, are on consoles, PS4, Xbox One, and Switch. I'm not sponsored, don't worry, this isn't a sponsorship. I just love these games. They're relaxing and nice. I bet you're wondering why I waited till like day 3 to say anything. I don't have an answer for that. I seriously don't. But these games, I'm going to play through this one for a while. This video alone I might play for several hours. Because these games are really fun and hard to put down. All the Kingdom games. Because Kingdom 2 Crowns is basically a slightly more, there's some more stuff from New Lands, because the order it came out was Kingdom, New Lands, and then Kingdom 2 Crowns. As far as I know, Kingdom New Lands is basically, well, Kingdom 2 Crowns is basically just maybe slightly better version of Kingdom New Lands, except Kingdom 2 Crowns also has co-op. So you can do all your fun kingly stuff with friends or family. Oh. Normally the archers don't go into the forest. That one decided to do it to get that deer. Normally you have to chase the deer out if you want them to get one. And as you can see, you got like a modest kingdom at the start. And the game starts you out in the middle of spring. Well, not in the middle, the beginning of spring, technically, I suppose. Because you need it to be the beginning of spring. The later it gets in the year, because it gets to like summer and fall, and then stuff like wheat and farming becomes the best way you can get money, because it starts growing really fast, and farming gets you a ton of money. But then, earlier on, you might not even have access to farming, and it won't be as effective, potentially. But then, something like hunting, for like rabbits and the deer and such, is a really effective way to get money early on. Because every kill that they get on a rabbit gives you 1 coin, every deer is 3 coins. So you can get a lot of money. Deer only spawn in the forest, and rabbits spawn in those little cattail things out there. Little bush patches. And those only spawn in the open plains area where there are no trees. However, in the winter, when there are none of these things, because there's snow and such, fishing is the best way to get money. Which is something that comes later. Oh yeah, that's their main goal. Those bastards are called the Greed. They steal anything that they can that's money related, and their end goal is to get your crown. So your end goal is to protect the crown at all costs. The game technically goes on infinitely. The first kingdom originally was just the same island infinitely, survive as long as you can. Eventually, no matter what, your kingdom's probably gonna collapse because of the way it works. However, in New Lands and 2 Crowns, there is technically an end, kinda. It's a strange thing. I've never done it because it takes a long time, lots of money and time and effort. Even though the game is very relaxing, whenever you move to a new island, you don't keep your kingdom. You take like one squad of archers with a squire or a knight, or depending on what you have, with you, and then they go with you to the next island and will be your defenders. So, it really matters that you get a lot of archers. Your money bag can overflow. Also, I should build this because those lower towers, while the archers in the lower towers can help hunt for stuff, like the rabbits, they cannot. They get hit. They can get hit from there. Also, these camps, the way they work is that you have the camps here, but then if you get rid of any of the trees on the sides, that happens, they disappear. The camps are how you get refugees, which is basically your guys without their shirts and stuff. So they don't have anything on them, so you give them the coin, and then then they come to your kingdom. And then you can give them a bow or a hammer, or you basically give them a job. Their job does matter because if you're low on bowmen for hunting or defending, you need to give them a bow. If you need builders to help build structures quicker because you're not getting them done quick enough, that you have a high demand for building because you're expanding quicker in the spring, for example, which I don't recommend you expand fast because you will outstretch and then get your ass kicked because you'll probably end up destroying a lot of refugee camps on the way. The builders, even though it's nighttime, they just don't care about their lives. They're very slow to get back to the base. These guys attack every night. And in Kingdom New Lands, and I believe, well, it might not have been in New Lands, I thought it was, but the more I think about it, the less I think it's the case, is that there was a Blood Moon system. I think the Blood Moons are still in here, but I think they changed how it works overall. Blood Moons in the original Kingdom used to be like every 7 days, 10, like that, or it was like every 4 or 5, I can't remember. It would rain, and then the night it would rain, there would be a Blood Moon. Then during this Blood Moon, more enemies than normal would come, and enemies that are higher danger level, I suppose, you would say, start appearing, even if, you're not at that point where they should be regularly appearing yet. Because eventually they'll just start regularly appearing anyway, so it's not like it matters that they just happen to appear during the Blood Moon. They'll appear normally after a certain point. But it's more dangerous because they're there now. You might not have a big enough army to stop them. But at this point in the game, I don't know if there are Blood Moons anymore, because it rains. It still rains in this. But I don't think Blood Moons come anymore. Because what would happen is the Blood Moon would happen, then the day after the Blood Moon, no enemies would come at night, and you could basically go wherever you wanted for the whole day and night. Also, this boat is what I need to travel to the next island. You have to wait for the forest to clear to get the new things sometimes. It is literally deforestation before our very eyes. But, to be fair, the rabbits take control of the area instead. So technically, nature's still flourishing here. Now, your money bag can overflow very easily early on with the amount of money you'll be getting if you're not careful. And when it does that, it'll either fall to the ground like as if you dropped it, or it'll fall in the water, gone forever. Like that. And as you see that if you look in the top right with the bag, the coins have physics. I don't know why they do, but they do. If you give your money to this Indian lady, she puts it in the bank, so you don't have to carry and worry about overflowing your bag as much. She'll give it back to you if you want it, but most of the time you're not going to want it back unless it's like in the winter and you gave it to her before winter when you still had a lot. Like, look at all that money. One day of hunting. All that money. It's good to try and keep archer towers with the walls, because the archer towers can make shots over the walls a lot easier, as you may have guessed, considering how high they are. I have plans for plenty of other video game series of games that I love, so there's gonna be plenty of that content. Don't worry about no more content. It's coming. Also, it's foggy, and I don't know if that means anything at all. It never used to. Only rain meant something was coming. Oh, never mind, that is straight up rain. Well, this could be a blood moon. Maybe. I don't know. Also, the trader, if you cut down too many trees by his land, he will also move out. And he will no longer bring you the daily amount of coins, because that's there to help keep a steady flow early on. For, I'm assuming, newer players that don't know what to spend their money on, so they spend it on everything. So then, actually, he's kind of like for intermediate level of players, because it's like, you know what you're spending your money on, but you're not spending enough money to the point where you're bulldozing every tree in sight, like a newer player might, and then just end up having him move out. So that's if I had to guess, a lot of new players bulldoze the refugee camps and traders right off the bat, and then died, and we're like, huh, maybe I shouldn't have done that. But to be fair, if they did, they probably didn't know the importance of it. Personally, the traders, in my opinion, I feel like should be on some of the later islands, and not the first one, but being on the first one isn't the worst thing. Also, when you get to a new island, builders, you don't even need to worry about them, because a lot of them come with you on the boat. In fact, they're consistently one of the only ones that will come with you on the boat, no matter what. Because they're the ones that build it and push it into the water and such. And the greed, if you're on some later levels where they're really tough and your walls aren't as strong as you think they should be, you can kind of like distract them, like drop a ton of gold in the way as you're going, and then they'll stop and pick it up instead of going after the walls, your men. Like, I'm gonna try and get the boat built as soon as possible, because this first island, there are upsides to it, as in it's really easy since it's the first island, but there are downsides, such as the fact that there are upgrades, as I'm almost certain you noticed the stone symbols above the money with everything being crossed out, because I can no longer upgrade it anymore. That is because upgrades like stone and steel and such you have to unlock eventually. And once you get them, they're permanent. However, till you get them, you cannot get anything that involves them. Such as better archery towers using son of a... Forgot that was there, but that is a special mount. Those exist. They give you special bonuses, such as being able to run faster in certain environments. For example, like the deer mount that I know exists can run faster in the forest than this standard horse can, or maybe it just has more stamina in general. The griffin mount is a bit faster than the horse and has a special attack where he will blow the enemies back with his big wings. However, on the first island that I remember, there are no gem boxes, and gems are how you do things like purchase the special new mounts. And without the gem boxes, obviously you can't get the gems to do that. So once you get to the second island, you can get gems and come back and do everything on the first island again. Because you can go back and forth between islands however much you want. And everything will be there once you come back. Because the greed isn't going to attack a kingdom that doesn't have your crown. Because they're assholes and only want the crown. Sadly, on the first island, there is no way to take any archers with you because you don't have the stone to get squires or anything, which is how you command them to get on the boat. So, since I'm overflowing with money, I'm just going to go as soon as I can. You see, the builders take the boat and they push it over to the dock. None of them got in, though. Nice. Shit. Now, I can do it without builders, though. You always get the standard 1 or 2 things with you at the start at the new island. Like there was on this one. Where there's like 1 or 2 people at the camp, and then there's always, of course, the refugee camps that are normally fairly close. This is the map here. I'm pretty certain this is the island I'm on. It only has 1 portal. And the highest upgrade here is wood, I believe. You can see the different things here, like the griffin mount, the archer statue. Is that archer one with the guy with the bow and arrow? It empowers your archers if you upgrade it to full. It has no, just, yeah. Okay, my ears. Ah, see, look at that. 2 fine men able to work. For me. For 1 measly coin. To be fair, the coin's the size of their torso, so you equate that to however much you want. So, this is my favorite song. This is what I meant about builders not giving a shit about their own lives. They could easily have died out there, but yeah, just slowly, nonchalantly walk back to camp. I was about to say, there's only one. I think you can manage one. And of course, as you may expect on a new island, one of the best things you can do early on is expand fast-ish. If there's a refugee camp right there, don't. But, you know, expand at a reasonable rate, I suppose is a better way to say that. Oh, watch this sick move here. I have a dog now. This dog is a very important dog. The dog will bark and warn you as to if there are greed coming. Sometimes, in new lands, he was very useful because when there was a blood moon, he knew exactly which direction they were coming from, so you could tell the guys, because there are catapults you can get later on, so you can have them load fire barrels in the catapults to take them out on the side that you need them. Fire barrels are useful because if you have them shooting rocks in new lands at least, there are these like giant ogre-like ones that will just take the rocks, rubble, and throw it back at you. Which is obviously not a thing you want. You don't want them throwing shit back at you. builders are consistent enough at their job. Archers, though, some of them are aces and will bring back like an entire bag worth of coins. Others will slack off or miss nearly every shot they take, resulting in next to no, if any, money. Like that. Admittedly, he hadn't picked up the rest, but you know, that's just an example of how they can be sometimes, just basically nothing. Or they can do that. That is also a thing. Also, the dog. This is kind of messed up that it's a thing. The greed can take the dog. See how the dog follows you? If you're running through the forest, and the greed's catching up with you, they'll take the dog if you don't outrun them. They will just snatch him up. It's, you can't, if you have a mount that can attack them, like the crocodile, or one of the ones in the DLC that they have for this, that was like a free add-on DLC that I'm not doing now, because it's its own special thing, then you can, you know, you can attack the greed and get your dog back. However, if you don't, you have to pray that you're close enough to the walls that an archer snipes the bastard that took your dog. You see the dog, he barks and warns you. He's a good pupper. He's good at his job. He's a good little pupper dogger who will he won't protect you at all. I'm not gonna lie. He's that's not what he does. He's a watchdog. He'll watch for you. He won't do anything else though, so don't expect him to take a bullet for you. Well, technically he kinda will, because if you really need it, then you can just do this. So when you're running, so the greed take him instead. If you really want to do that. This is the stone upgrade. We build that, and then we can get higher upgrades like stone walls and such. Honestly, in Kingdom New Lands, that's the highest it goes. Stone. You get the stone, you get the knights and everything. The knights used to be called squires, but squires are a whole separate level now, and now it goes squires, then the knights. The knights are the guys in full armor now. The guys in full armor used to just be squires, I believe. They're really good at their jobs. The squires, they can be. They're not terrible. They do their job, but they're not good at it. Give me money! Your king demands money! Okay, that's good enough. I need to upgrade that. See, it's getting to the point where I might have expanded a little too much, but I can pull out of it because, you know, the mule guy's here. Mule man. He's, what are you holding out on me for, Mr. Mule man? Why are you holding out? Ah, see, he wasn't holding out. Why are you holding out, huh? Mule man prick. I will cut the trees around your house down. I know you hate that. I might just fully bulldoze the refugee camp to the left. I don't think I need it. Alright, you boys bringing back the money, the moolah? No, not you. The greed will not get my coins. They can have the dog. I'm just kidding, I would not let them have the dog. See, they bring in the bread and butter, the cookie dough, the crack. Forget that last one I said. Don't do drugs, kids. They aim like they're on crack, though. Why am I doing that? I need to get the stone upgrade. You know, we'll get one last set of refugee survivors, then I'm bulldozing that. We need these guys over here to get some money. Money. Where is the refugee hiding? Is he hiding behind the tent? They do that? Alright, when I come back, if there ain't no refugee, I'm just bulldozing it. Regardless of whether or not one is there. I never went farther to the left here, did I? This is here, this is the farmer one. The farmer shrine. It makes farmers more efficient and faster, basically. So more efficient equals faster. Oh, don't go that way. That is a greed portal. That is where the bad guys come from. However, it's a weak one. It's like a temporary greed portal, I suppose, if you want to call it that, because that's why you need squires and knights. That's their main thing. Besides going from island to island with you to help protect. Those guys, you can send them to destroy the greed portals, those small temporary ones at least. There are big ones on every island, however there's only one big one per island, so eventually you could theoretically wipe out everything on one side, and then never have to worry about that side ever again. Well, not even theoretically, you will eventually do that if you played it long enough. I don't know if I'll make it, but I'm gonna try to get to the stone statue. 'Cause my builders might have to build it though. If they do, then I'm not going to do that. So I may as well wait till the next day, because they won't make it back in time, because they're too stupid to run, and then just go back when it's daylight out. That might have looked like a salute, but it wasn't. You idiots, don't even worry about it. The other guy's got it by now. If he doesn't, then I'm firing him. Now you give me your money. You've been holding out on me, old man. Donkey guy. Also, you can change your crest. You can go in here. And then go up here, and you can mess with it. You can make it look cool. And it will affect your guy's cape as well, as well as the crest on there and everything. And eventually, once the knights in them and these flags here, it'll mess with all that stuff. It'll change it all. So you can make it look pretty cool. Well, I guess depending on what you consider cool, you can make it whatever you want it to be. So, if you don't find the way it was originally cool, well, you can change it to a way that you do feel is cool. If that builder doesn't die, I'm going to be shocked. Maybe the archer in the tower could snipe and save him. Oh yeah, when they hit a guy that has a tool, they drop the tool, but they stay your workers. You just have to give them another tool, buy them another one. But if they get hit twice, they drop the coin you originally gave them, and then they become the refugee peasants again. Also, look at those water reflections. Those torches are definitely reflecting the way they should. I'm curious as to why nothing has come from the right side. Okay, that is... Was one of the nights technically a blood moon that I didn't notice? The dog only ever barked to the left. Also, one reason you should replace your starting horse with another mount is because it has a really bad time with stamina. It runs really good through the open plains, but anywhere else, like the forest, nope. The griffin, admittedly, is the same, doesn't do as good in the forest as it does in the plains, but when it's in the plains, it has a lot more stamina, and it goes like a damn bullet. It's fast. I don't know if my builders have to build this. No, they don't. Okay, good. It's a quarry. Now, we can have stuff. Hey, a gem box. This is the gem box. Gives you a certain amount of gems. The gems, once they're lost, you can never get back. I think that there are technically enough gems to get every single gem upgrade in the game, I believe. But if you lose even one to the greed, or it drops out of your bag into the water, you're not getting it back. Ever. Which is why you should spend it or store it, because there is a way to store them. There is a person by the boat that you can give them to store them for you once you have them. That thump when they hit the deer. Listen to them birds chirp, chirp, cheep, 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 cheep. I'm gonna get another builder here. Yeah, that's not a good idea, I don't think, because I think that I think it's to the point where if I upgrade it again, it will give me upgraded stone walls, and while that sounds good, the current walls don't work while they're being upgraded. So I would have to cover the walls somehow till they're finished when it's almost nighttime. So yeah, not a great idea to do that. I feel like there's the archers. I was honestly wondering where they went. He's barking left, so they're there. He tried to take the coin and he paid for it. With his life, of course. What else do you do to somebody who's really greedy? Just take a coin? Yep, I knew it. See? That happens. Admittedly, I'm just gonna push out. But it's a really good thing to have stone walls, even if it's the shorter ones indoors, because... And this builder is having an existential crisis. Just pick one. And of course, the builder that was on this one went to the other one. Uh-oh. Just pick! No, keep freaking out. At this point, you deserve to freak out. The short stone walls are very tough. Obviously, the tall stone walls are tougher, but the short ones are obviously still tough. So they're worth getting. And they're shorter, so... Well, they're almost as tall as the wood tall ones, so... You'd think that they should... The archers should be able to, like, fire over them easier if they're short, but no, they miss just as many shots. Don't ask how, because I don't know how. And I dropped another coin. There's the spears. See, the thing about spears is also they break, which makes it so that eventually the spearmen will either come back to get another spear, or you can do that and then like not buy anymore if it was like winter and then it turns summer and you don't want more spearmen. So then you let them break their spear and they come back and get a bow. After this night, I'm gonna, oh dear Jesus, I'm gonna end the video after this night. Stop dropping the coins! Stop it! I don't need it. You're just filling my pockets, and they can't hold it. The pockets are so stressed. They'll build them in time. Maybe not even 2/3. Oh, there. See, they're almost done. The upgraded stone ones can hold 2 archers. Twice the fun. Half the hassle. I'm surprised no coins went flying out of my bag again. Of course, they haven't finished it yet, so these guys are just abandoning it. There, get in there and shoot. Don't know why they're aiming so high. They don't need to. Alright, once that daytime bell goes off, that's it for this night. I mean, this video. And the night, technically. Because once the bell goes off, it's daytime. Those torch reflections are not doing what they're supposed to. I've never seen them do that. Alright, thank you for watching today's video. I'll see you next time in Kingdom 2 Crowns.